Hello, everybody. Welcome to Libertarian Front. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto. Today, we're going to take a look at an article. Donald Trump courts an increasingly friendly Libertarian Party. And today is May 21st. This article is a May 1st article. Donald Trump will be speaking at the Libertarian National Convention on May 23rd, which is a very interesting development. So what I want to do is run through this article, give you my thoughts throughout, and then wrap it up with my thoughts at the end, what this means for libertarians, libertarian movement as a whole. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. My name is Joe Palmetto. This is Libertarian Front, where we cover news, politics, and issues from a libertarian perspective. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Most people that watch these videos are not subscribed. It's a great way to help me out. It's a free way. Just hit the subscribe button, whether you watch my show in the future again or not, which I hope you do, but give me the subscribe. Help me out. If you watched one of my videos, if you watch half the video, do me a solid. Donald Trump will speak at the Libertarian National Convention on May 23rd in Washington, D.C., where the third party will gather to nominate its presidential ticket. This momentous occasion will mark the first time a former president directly addresses our members, candidates, and executive committee, the Libertarian Party announced on Tuesday morning. Don't miss this opportunity to hear insights from a prominent figure in American politics. Prominent is maybe an understatement, and watch him engage with libertarian ideals. The LP, Libertarian Party, invited both Trump and President Joe Biden to address delegates. Earlier this year, the California Libertarian Party invited every major third-party candidate to its state convention, getting a warm reception from delegates, but next to no support in a straw poll. My understanding is that Joe Biden obviously declined or else didn't answer the request to speak. In 2016, when it nominated former GOP governors Gary Johnson and William Weld for president, the Libertarian Party positioned itself as a sensible alternative to the statist Democratic Party and the far-right MAGA GOP. It maintained that position during Trump's presidency. Whatever libertarian impulses Trump, the candidate, seems to have, the party wrote in a 2018 statement, his actual performance as president stands in stark contrast. Donald Trump is the opposite of a libertarian. Now, I have to take issue with that. I believe that Donald Trump's policies actually reflected a lot of libertarian ideals. First and foremost is the fact that he passed massive tax cuts as president of the United States. And that is perhaps the core, or at least one of the core principles of the Libertarian Party, is to reduce taxes. Libertarians view taxes as a form of theft, right? Where the individual, the corporation who created the money, created the wealth, then has that money and that wealth taken away from them from the government. Now, I'm not so extreme to say that taxes shouldn't exist, but you have to recognize the force element there, right? The government is forcing this money out of your hands. It's not a voluntary thing, okay? It's forceful. And given that, I think taxes should be reduced as much as is possible in order to still have a very functioning and prosperous society. So Donald Trump passed a lot of tax cuts. He also cut regulation across the board, lots of corporate regulation. Again, that's a libertarian principle where government is placing restrictions on companies, replacing restrictions on cities, towns, boroughs, okay? Donald Trump removed those restrictions, again, granting more freedom to these companies, these corporations, these entities in order to do business and make the economy more prosperous. So to say that his actual performance is the opposite of a libertarian, I think is just plain false. When it comes to COVID-19, he probably didn't go as far as many libertarians wanted. They didn't really want the government pushing the vaccine or pushing for masks or pushing for social distancing. And Trump walked sort of a line there, and he kind of did a lot of that, right? But look at the alternative. What did the Biden administration do when they got in office? Passed mask mandates, always pushing, telling people social distance, take the vaccine, all these threats, all these things that were said about people that didn't want to take the vaccine. Okay, so I think when compared to the Democratic Party, he was actually very libertarian. Now, not all of his causes, stances, and positions are libertarian, right? I believe that the Libertarian Party respects the right for women to choose when it comes to abortion. I'm not saying every libertarian, right? You can have differences within a party. Differences exist within the Republican Party. Differences exist within the Democratic Party itself, right? Not every Democrat is for an increase in taxes. But Donald Trump, yeah, he had a very pro-life stance while he was president, and the philosophy of his judicial nominees. But one issue doesn't spoil the entire party or the entire philosophy. Every candidate is going to be a mix. Every candidate is going to be a mix, as is every party. It's just about where you align the best, right? So this writer goes on to say, what changed? In 2022, the right-wing Mises Caucus won control of the party, powered by frustration at the Johnson-Weld nomination, which compromised on numerous libertarian positions, and the party's failure to capitalize on anger at COVID-19 restrictions. In her speech at the California convention this year, LP National Chair Angela McArdle said she needed to focus on creative growth and finding new allies. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s candidacy was appealing to the sort of anti-establishment voters who often voted Libertarian, and some members were pushing for him to lead the ticket. We're going to be in a tough election year, she said. If Kennedy is on the ballot in 40 or more states as an independent, it's going to really hurt Libertarian vote turnout. And I think that's true because whatever the Libertarian Party stands for, it stands mostly as an alternative to the Democrat and the Republican Party. So many voters who may not align that much with the Libertarian Party, but they're sick and tired of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and I put myself into that camp of being sick and tired of these two parties, are going to vote Libertarian. And if they decide to vote for Robert F. Kennedy, absolutely, it's going to pull votes away from the Libertarian candidate. Kennedy, who did not rule out seeking the Libertarian Party nomination, hasn't made serious moves toward winning it since getting a single vote in the convention's straw poll. Kennedy, when it comes to COVID-19 and some popular issues, he appears to have a libertarian stance, or at least libertarian veneer. But he's very he's kind of a Democrat, really, underneath whatever outer layer he's wearing for the most part. Probably a traditional Democrat, a Democrat more of what they looked like 25 years ago, rather than what the Democratic Party is today. But how many of his issues actually align with the Libertarian Party is pretty questionable. For instance, when the Supreme Court made a ruling against affirmative action, he came out in support of affirmative action. There's lots of things that Kennedy appears to traditionally be a Democrat on. The candidates now running for the nomination aren't well known outside the movement. Trump's decision to attend will bring star power, media attention, very unusual for the Libertarian Party, and intense security to the event, while dividing libertarians, some of whom are wondering why a Republican candidate who supports tariffs, mass deportations, and state abortion limits should share their stage. The view from a Libertarian Party chairman. The Mises Caucus has demonstrated they are a MAGA operation, said Nicholas Sarwark, who led the National LP Party from 2014 through 2020. It's time to end their involvement in the Libertarian Party. The view from the Mises Caucus. Dave Smith, comedian and podcaster who helped lead the Mises Caucus victory, called the Trump invite an undeniably great thing for the LP. The former president of the United States and current frontrunner for that office is coming to our convention to speak to our issues and grievances, he wrote on X. It will generate more attention on our party and the issues that we care about than we've ever had. And from that perspective, it should likely be viewed as a positive thing, because the Libertarian Party, again, lots of people don't know very much about it. And like they say, oftentimes any publicity is better than no publicity. And negative publicity is better than no publicity. So I think the attention is a positive thing for the for the Libertarian Party. The Mises Caucus is based mostly on a very, let's say, extreme libertarian, non-government involvement, economic theory. There's a Mises school of libertarian thinking and economics. And, there's obviously division within the Libertarian Party. And the Mises Caucus does tend to be more pro-Trump, pro-Republican, but I think it's unfair to characterize them as a MAGA operation. And the Libertarian Party really should be happy about anything, I think, that brings energy to the party itself. And, to call it just a pro-MAGA operation, well, if it was just a pro-MAGA type thing, if those people were just pro-MAGA, pro-Trump, okay, they would just be in the Republican Party. So they obviously have a lot of differences and don't feel at home within the Republican Party itself. So I think you want to be careful. I think the Libertarian Party should be careful about how it addresses even its own movements within itself. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm going to watch Donald Trump's speech just to see what issues he touches on here, and see where it goes from there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Libertarian Front. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto. I have an undergraduate degree in political science, a law degree from Duquesne University. I also served in the United States Air Force. I have an interest in politics and issues at hand. From a libertarian perspective, if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Help me grow, everybody. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Have a great day.